Welcome back to Man Down Sports. As you can see from the thumbnail, Andre Iguodala, JJ Redick, he was on this podcast with Evan Turner. They was discussing a lot of things. You can go check out the Old Man and the Three in that podcast because this interview was pretty good. But this particular video is going to be about something that Iguodala talked about when it was when the GOAT debate was brought up. And I like the way he explained some things and how he did. He talked about LeBron, Michael Jordan, Kobe, Larry Bird. He talked about all those guys in a way that's kind of different from a lot of mainstream media pundits, especially JJ Redick, because JJ Redick had a different idea. But I like the way Iguodala explained it. And I'm gonna play for you what he said, and I'm gonna break that down. We go sit here and talk about the things he said about Kobe and Michael Jordan and LeBron and how they may differ, and how he stacked them up, and how he graded the criteria and do all that stuff. Man, it's fascinating. I like it. He kind of think more along the lines of how I think. But we're gonna break all that down before we even get started. If you're watching this from Facebook, head over to YouTube. Give me a subscription over there on YouTube. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button on your way in there. Make sure you leave a comment as well and share if you feel so kind to do so. If you're watching this from YouTube and you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. If you are subscribed, make sure you got that notification bell rung so you get all the videos as soon as they come out. Without further ado, I'm going to play for you what Iguodala and JJ Redick had to say about the GOAT debate.
We talked about like our top five, our Mount Rushmore, right?
Mm-hmm.
To me, and this is my opinion, I think there's three guys that I'm comfortable saying are three of the five best players ever. And it's Kareem, LeBron, and MJ. After that, I think there's like 5 or 6 guys that you could make an argument for as either the fourth guy on a Mount Rushmore or a top 5 player. And Steph is one of those guys, to be honest with you.
I like that.
Steph is one of those, and so is Tim, so is Larry, so is Magic. Wilt for sure. Yeah, Kobe
Kobe had no flaws. I don't like talking about guys' flaws, but if we're talking about the greatest ever, we should be allowed to pick apart people's games. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying. You can't have any flaws. So if you name each guy, you have to say he didn't have a flaw.
I like that he said that. I'm gonna pause it right there. I like that he said that. The first thing I want to point out is that JJ Redick, he was talking about Mount Rushmore. That's 4 guys, right? And he said he know for sure the 3 guys is automatically on there. Is did he say Wilt or Kareem? That was one on Wilt or Kareem, Michael, and LeBron, right? The need to throw LeBron in that is baffling to me a lot. And Iguodala is going to explain why, mainly because I give away right now, but mainly because he said the guys that I think of, this is what Iguodala is saying, the guys that I think of that are on that Mount Rushmore are the best players at the game of basketball. And how do you judge a guy that's the best? Because once you get up to like the top 25, they're all great and separate themselves from the pack. But how do you separate yourself from that top 25? Or how do you separate yourself from that top 10? It's by perfecting your craft so much that we can watch you play and we can scout you and we can watch you on film and we can literally see no flaws that we can exploit. So in Iguodala's mind, a person who thinks the game that way, a person who's played for the Golden State Warriors, for Steve Kerr, who was very meticulous and attention to detail oriented, and who probably got a great scout team and who probably look at the game a totally different way and break it down. JJ Redick probably don't have that under his tool belt. So he probably thinking about it a whole different way. JJ go explain to you how he's thinking about it, but Iguodala is letting you know I'm thinking about it by how complete of a player are you, or are you incomplete? And you can still be great. You can still be a top 10 player and still have flaws in your game and be incomplete. Case in point, LeBron James. I mean, we can right away say free throws is a flaw. We can right away say turnovers is a flaw. He leads the entire NBA all-time turnovers. He's never been a great free throw shooter. We can right away say that playing off the ball is a flaw. He's not that good at that. We can right away say shooting is a flaw. We can right away say his mid-range is a flaw. Playing without the ball is a flaw. Playing in the post, flaws. All these flaws. So we can point to those type of things and say, okay, he probably need to get back in the lab and hone those skills in. Right? These are things Michael Jordan and Kobe did. They did that. I'm gonna get better at this, get better at this. I'm gonna make my weakness a strength. Michael Jordan, Kenneth Smith was famous for saying that when he showed up at Carolina, he couldn't dribble. Well, now that by the time he got to the league, that wasn't a flaw anymore, right? So Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant was just perfecting their craft and their game so much, and that was their answer to not being able to beat people. Was, okay, I can't beat the Detroit Pistons, but I'm gonna come back next year even better. I can't beat the Boston Celtics. I'm gonna come back next year even better, right? That was their answer to beating teams that was knocking them out of the first and second round. Let me go back and get better and come back and make it harder for them to knock me out. Well, on the other hand, LeBron's answer to getting beat by teams in the East was to find more players like him to join up with, and that's how he formed the Heat Big Three. And that's been his formula ever since then. He went and joined Wade and Bosh, and then he grabbed Ray Allen from the Boston Big Three, and that's how they got their first championship. And then from there, it was all about who can I handpick that's as good as I am to cover up all my flaws. Instead of me making my flaws not a flaw anymore, let me see who I can handpick, because I'm good at putting the talent that I need around me for my specific game. I can do that. And you'll never see my flaws because I got a co-star who specializes in what my flaw is, right? I got a team around me who complements my strengths and cover up my weaknesses, right? That's what LeBron did. That's the difference between him and Kobe. But I'll keep playing it.
Well, I think the counterpoint to this. The counterpoint to your thing is, I think what you're talking about is a player.
Of course, he's talking about. So he's giving a counterpoint to what Iguodala said. Iguodala is saying, you can't have no flaws. If I'm talking about you as the greatest, like seriously, if someone who never watched basketball at all say, this is my first time seeing the game of basketball today. It's a fascinating game. Can you tell me who the greatest is that played this sport? Yeah, I can show you somebody who can do it all and grab Michael Jordan, right? That's what we're talking about when we say the greatest, right? And that's the difference between the way some people talk about this GOAT debate and the way others talk about it.
And I'm talking about the player plus the resume plus the career plus the era. I think era does matter.
Yes.
I think era certainly matters.
Yes.
Not making a case for George Mikan here. Okay. But I think the resume is adds to the skill set.
How does the resume add to the skill set? that don't even make sense, JJ Redick. He's fumbling through this because he probably ain't thought this out well, and it's not making sense. He said, well, what you're talking about is the player. What the hell else would we be talking about, JJ Redick? What else would we be talking about other than the player and how good they are? Right? So he's saying, no, I'm talking about the player plus the resume plus the era plus all this other stuff. And then he said the resume adds to the skill set. So I guess what he's trying to say is I take everything into account. Okay, that's great. We take everything into account as well. People who are saying it the way Iguodala is saying it is simplifying it. I mean, this is how we cut out 10 to 15 people that other people think should be in the debate. This is how we cut them out, right? Find me a complete player, right? Find me, like, how can a complete player ever, well, how can an incomplete player ever be better than a complete player, right? So how can I take a guy like Kobe, who Iguodala and I believe had no flaws in his game on both ends of the floor, right? Or someone like Robert Orr, who said Kobe had no flaws on offense. He would almost had no flaws on defense, except his post defense wasn't that good, which is cool because for his position to play on the wing, his primary objective is to be able to lock down wing offenders. So he'd be a wing defender. You know, occasionally you might get a guy who can score on the post like Carmelo Anthony. Kevin Durant was taller, you know, so it might have, you know, he might have had some problems with that in the post. Or when he was playing against Portland, Bonzi Wells was giving him that work in the post. Bonzi Wells was a big body like that could score. He was pretty much like Carmelo Anthony in the post. So Ori said that was his only flaw was his post defense. So these are multiple people who are saying Kobe had no flaws or very close to no flaws. And the same thing for Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan had no flaws. And I've not heard nobody say that he had a flaw. Nobody say he had post defense as a flaw. They said Michael Jordan had no flaws. So how can you take a player who have no flaws? That means that he went in and worked on his game so much that there was nothing that you could exploit as a defense. You cannot go in the scouting room, watch film, and say, okay, we're going to make Kobe go left, or we're going to back off of Michael Jordan 6 feet and give him jump shots all day long for a 7-game series while you let JJ Barea, Jason Terry, and Jason Kidd guard you, and then you average 17 points in the finals. That didn't happen. There's no flaw that you can exploit to hold Michael Jordan and Kobe to 17 points a game in the finals, or you can back off him 6 feet and give him wide open jump shots. There's no flaw in Michael Jordan and Kobe's game where if they get a high ball screen, that you going under the screen and allowing him to get wide open jump shots or uncontested jump shots. There's no flaw where you say in the fourth quarter, let's put Michael Jordan on the free throw line. There's no flaw where Michael Jordan was afraid to penetrate in clutch moments, because if he got fouled, he didn't feel confident that he can go to the free throw line and knock it down. That didn't happen. That's why flaws kind of separate you from other players. So how can you have those flaws in your game and then be considered better than somebody because of what your resume looked like? And the only thing that really mattered on your resume is how often did you win? And he still didn't win more than Kobe Bryant. So if he didn't win more than Kobe Bryant, then what are you looking at on the resume that has you thinking that this complete player in Kobe Bryant, this incomplete player in LeBron James, but I'm going to put LeBron over him because something in his resume requires that I put him above Kobe Bryant? What's in his resume? If it's not how much he won, what is in his resume that tells you that you're supposed to put him above Kobe Bryant? Because it's not winning, which is the most important thing. So what is it? Oh, it's how much assists he got. Is that what it is? Is stats? So we playing for stats now? If LeBron James' formula for playing basketball was the best formula, he would win more than Kobe and he would win more than Jordan. Hell, he would win more than Steph Curry. But that didn't happen. Even with all the player movement that he's done in the NBA, jumping from team to team and handpicking superstar and co-star and all-star and handpicking all these guys that are supposed to just perfect his game and cover his flaws up and strengthen his team where he can't strengthen the team. And he does all of this, all that maneuvering, and he still don't have more rings than Steph Curry, who played in the same era with him and beat him 2 times in the finals. And he still don't have more than LeBron. More than Kobe. And he's not gonna catch Michael Jordan either. So what is it in the resume, JJ Redick, that you're looking at that says that Kobe is not better than LeBron James? I don't understand.
About skills, I think a lot of times it comes down to this guy can put on a show dribbling the basketball and make tough shots, right? I think that's generally speaking what we talk about with skills. Because everybody, when they talk about the most skilled players, the same guys always get brought up. It's Kyrie, it's Kobe, Maybe Kevin Durant's in there. They don't talk about LeBron. They don't talk about Shaq, because to them, the best player is based on aesthetics, not necessarily performance and effectiveness.
Performance and effectiveness. The only thing that we want to be effective is the win column. What does the win-loss column look like? And for LeBron, it's 4. He's won 4 times, and for Kobe, he's won 5 times. For MJ, he's won 6 times. For Steph, he's won 4 times. That's the only thing that really matters. Like how, and I hate when people reduce Kevin Durant, Kobe Bryant, and Kyrie Irving to dribbling and shooting tough shots. Like, why would you reduce somebody as great as that, who JJ Redick you played against in the finals when you had Dwight, one of the baddest dudes on the court, who had just put LeBron out of the finals. You played in Orlando on Orlando team led by Dwight Howard, who went head to head with LeBron James and sent him home with like a 4-1 or 4-2 victory in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then went to the finals against Kobe. So you sing LeBron head to head, face to face, not be able to get Cleveland over the hump against Dwight, who the media is telling us that Dwight is not even a top 75 player of all time, but Dwight led Orlando over a Cleveland team led by LeBron James and almost blowout fashion. Made it look easy. Took them straight through the Eastern Conference and in the finals against Kobe, and then Kobe didn't let y'all get but 1 game. Make it make sense, JJ Redick. You seen LeBron face to face in failure, and in the very next series, y'all didn't have not one answer for Kobe Bryant, who was the best player in the league at that time. Didn't have no answer for him. 4-1. And you sitting here telling me about Kobe and we were talking about skill set. We're only talking about who can make tough shots and who can dribble. That's not all what Kobe game was. Kobe Bryant was a lockdown defender, one of the best defenders in the league, lockdown. And he honed his skills to where he didn't have any flaws. Catch and shoot, dribble, pull up, post, mid-range, 3-point, free throw, ISO, dribble, doing it all within a offense or a structure. He was in a triangle offense. That's an offense. It's harder to play in a coach's offense. The coaches say, "This is my offense. We're going to run this. This is how everyone is going to get their points. But my superstar, hey, you got a little freedom in there, but you got to do it within the offense where you can get your shots off." It's harder to do that versus be somebody to say, "Okay, I'm LeBron. I get the ball. Everyone else stand at the 3-point line, right? Come set screens for me. I dribble, try to get to the hole. If I can't get the hole and the double come, I make the pass to a shooter, and you have to shoot it when I pass it to you." Right? That was the offense. High screen and roll, run full speed to the rim for LeBron, make the pass. If the double come, the double don't come, get to the rim and get a shot. No nuances to that. No high post, no mid post, no low post. Not working with that, not working extensively without the ball, off the ball, where you're somebody setting a screen for you and you're coming off a screen, catch and shoot. You come off a curl, catch and shoot, or keep going to the hole, 1 dribble pull up, 2 dribble pull ups. None of that. It's just all bring the ball up, dribble for probably 10 seconds, get a screen, dribble for another 3 seconds, try to get a shot, and then either you get the shot with 4 seconds left on the clock, or you make the pass to a shooter with 4 seconds left on the clock and they need to shoot it. That's one of the worst offenses in the world, and that's what he played in. That's an elementary style of offense. He never graduated to playing in a real system where he had to play off the ball and utilize a more advanced level of basketball play. He played in the elementary style of basketball his whole career almost. Nothing nuanced about the offenses he played in. It was all about him. And when he tried to play in some type of offense, he looked bad, and he averaged 17 points in the finals. They had to, the way he had to submit and fall back and say, "All right, we'll play how you want to play it," because that's the only way it's gonna work. Wade could figure out how to score in Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra's system. He averaged 25, 26 against Dallas. But the baddest man on the planet that everybody was telling me LeBron couldn't. So let's keep listening to JJ Cap.
I would say
aesthetics, and that's where I think there's like this really blurry gray area when we talk about all these things, like who is the most skilled, who's the best player, who's got the best career. Like you have to factor in all this stuff because when we talk about the best career, like the best resume, well, the era matters in that.
Why is it so? Why is his version of, or why is his idea of who the greatest of all time is have to do with the resume so much? The resume can be manipulated, right? If I want to stuff the stat sheet, then I would play in an offense that allowed me to be the point guard and the primary scorer. So that locks me in for double-digit assists and double-digit points per game, right? If I can play in an offense where I play point guard or I have the ball a lot, like i.e. James Harden when he was in Houston, Westbrook when he was in OKC, his MVP seasons when he averaged a triple-double, or LeBron James on most of his teams, or Luka Doncic right now, right? If I wanted a lot of stats, I would play in an offense that lets me play that style of offense. So I can manipulate stuff in the stat sheet. So if I'm going by resume and I go to that and be like, oh man, 25 points per game, 7 assists, 7 rebounds, that's phenomenal. And if you do that for 15 or 20 years in LeBron case, you're going to be very high on the all-time list because you play that style. So now you can manipulate the resume by playing a certain style. Well, people like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan was more about winning, and they know that style, and you can hear it from the horse's mouth. Kobe Bryant said when they asked about him, James Harden, I did a video on this. He said that style of offense, it's not going to win championships. It's going to be very hard, right? LeBron couldn't even win that way when he was in Cleveland. But if you could play that style, if you form a super team, because almost anything worked with a super team. Like there was a bad team and went straight to the finals, and they didn't get exposed until they played Dallas. So if you form a super team, I mean, it's like putting lipstick on the pig. You can play a bad offense and still survive because you got 3 great players. You got 3 superstars on the floor, right? So Kobe and Michael Jordan, they played in the triangle offense. They played in the offense where Phil Jackson knew we can't win like that. We have to have everyone involved, and my best player can't be the one with the ball all the time. That's easy to guard, especially in the playoffs when I'm seeing this team for at least 4 straight games, at the least 7 games at the most, right? So that won't work. So you can manipulate your stat sheet, and you can stuff the stat sheets by playing a certain play style. You can also manipulate other things by forming super teams. You can manipulate how often you win or how often you have an opportunity to contend, which is what LeBron did. He formed a super team. So for like when he went to those 10 straight finals, 4 of them was with a super team with Miami Heat. So that's 4 with a super team. Then he went to Cleveland and handpicked, Kyrie Irving. I can see what he's doing. Kyrie Irving was already an all-star. This is not like they drafted Kyrie and LeBron helped him establish himself. No, Kyrie was already established as an all-star before LeBron got there. So he was able to look over there and see how good Kyrie was and then say, I'm going back to Cleveland because D-Wade knees are bad. My co-star over here knees are bad. Wade said he didn't even know LeBron was going. He was still pissed off about it. He said, D-Wade's knees are bad. I'm leaving him. I'm going over here to Cleveland because I see what Kyrie is doing over there. So I'm going to pick my co-star, handpick him. It worked for me in Miami. I was able to handpick my co-star, but not only did I handpick my co-star, I was able to handpick a third co-star or second co-star in Chris Bosh. So not only do I get another Michael Jordan type, like imagine if great players that are on Michael Jordan's level, and imagine if you can get imagine if you can get your Scottie Pippen and a Michael Jordan. You already a Michael Jordan type player, and then you able to pick another Michael Jordan to team up with you, and then you can go get your Scottie Pippen. Imagine it. Imagine if Michael Jordan had another Mike along with his Scottie Pippen. He had a Scottie, but he didn't have another Mike. Imagine if he went and got another Mike, a killer like that as far as scoring. That's what LeBron was doing. He was picking Mike level type scores. D Wade was top 1% in the league. He was up there with Kobe. He was the second best shooting guard in the league behind Kobe. You went and picked that. That's a Jordan level. That's an MVP level guy. That's a microwave. He can score in a phone booth with two people guarding him. That's what D Wade was. He got that. His knees went bad, and he looked and found another one. Oh, Kyrie Irving is like that. As far as a score, yeah, he's like that. That's 30 points. Scottie Pippen ain't never gave nobody no 30. He might have gave you 20. 30? Well, I'm not saying he never scored 30. I'm saying as far as the average. Kyrie averaged 41 in the finals. Scottie ain't never do that. So he getting MJ level scores. I ain't gonna say MJ. Kobe level scores that he's teaming up with, and then he's getting a Scottie Pippen along with him. So he go to Miami. Let me get Wade. That's a Kobe level score, and then give me my Scottie Pippen and Chris Bosh. Right. Then he go over to Cleveland. He say, I got Kyrie. That's a Kobe level score, and then give me Kevin Love. That's my Scottie Pippen. And then he go get another microwave score, J.R. Smith. Bring J.R. Smith over here. That's another microwave, right? Same thing he did in Miami. Give me Ray Allen. So not only am I getting a Kobe level score, I'm getting my Scottie Pippen, and then just give me one for the road. Give me that Ray Allen. Give me the best 3-point shooter in the world. And then when I go over here, hey, give me J.R. Smith on top of my Kyrie Irving and my Kevin Love. And then when he went to the Lakers, same thing. Give me this great score and this great player in AD. Bring him over here. So that's what he was doing. So when JJ Redick is talking about, let's talk about the resume and performances and blah, blah, blah. What you want to talk about? How often he got to the finals and lost? He handpicked his teams. That's manipulation. But you know what you can't manipulate? You can't manipulate how much you got in the lab, how much you got in that gym and worked on your game. And that's what Iguodala is talking about. No, I'm studying, observing, and analyzing their individual game. Forget what they was able to manipulate and put together and trick people into thinking that this is just an all-time great. No, he handpicked and manipulated and grabbed some of the greatest players that was in the league to play with him. So we're not going to take the resume because the resume was doctored up and manufactured. You can't manufacture your resume. You can't. He had the liberty to look at Kobe and look at Michael Jordan and say, Kobe got 5, Mike got 6. I need to try to get 5 or 6. What can I do to get 5 or 6? So it don't matter what he does. He's trying to do all these different things just to catch that. And then when he realized it was harder than what he thought, no matter how many teams I form up, super teams or not, no matter how many I form up, I'm not getting the wins that I want. I can't catch 6. But you know what I can do? I can play 20 plus years and I can see that I'm going to get that Kareem record. And if I get that Kareem record and if I got 4 rings and a Kareem record and I'm like top 5 in assists and top 5 in rebounds, then when you look at the stat sheet and you look at the resume, like JJ Redick said, you look at the resume, it has to be LeBron by the resume. And that's what JJ Redick is doing. And that's why people who got common sense don't look at the resume. They're looking at what you actually can do as a player, what you can't do as a player, what flaws you have, or do you not have any flaws at all? If you was able to carve out yourself as one of the greatest players with no flaws, that's who I'm going to lean toward. Unless you was a player with no flaws who didn't win, then of course, yeah, that's when the resume is going to count. If I'm looking at Kobe Bryant and he was this good with no flaws in his game, but it didn't work, you would have to question yourself, like, how are you this good, but you can't make it happen? Like what's going on that you can't make it happen? right? And that's when you have to say, I'm gonna have to tax you for that. Like people are taxing Kevin Durant. As good as Kevin Durant is, he's supposed to be in that top 10 discussion. For me, he is, but for a lot of people that's looking at resume and looking at what you was able to do or couldn't do, they're gonna tax him on, look, man, you couldn't win outside of Golden State. So if you can't do that, then we gotta tax you. Okay, that's cool. You want to tax him for not being able to achieve? I'm cool with that, no matter how good you are. But there's no way I'm going to take a player like Kobe Bryant, who's actually a better player than LeBron, who actually plays better defense as well, so he does it on both ends of the floor, who actually has that killer instinct, who actually did it, took the harder route to the to get his success, and on top of all of that, he actually won more. There's no way I'm going to take this player and say the player that's more incomplete, who won less, is the better player on Mount Rushmore. Hell no.
The era matters.
What's the criteria on a resume? Is it championships? Is it MVPs?
I don't subscribe to ring culture, but I think the rings are important in the conversation, but they're not the be all and end all in the conversation.
Of course it's not, because they'll take your guy out.
I'm not a ring culture guy, but I benefited from that. Like, I know I have a lot of flaws, and we were talking about, I think there should be tiers of the Hall of Fame.
I love that.
Because
you want to be in the tier 3.
Yeah, I'm not a Hall of Famer. If you ask me,
yes.
I'm like, man, no. Like, those guys they had no flaws. And I think I was good. But no.
You're awesome.
But like Kobe, like LeBron, come on, man, I can't do that. And a lot of us can't do that. And so it's like how they have to be in their own, like, different world. And then MJ should be in his different world. That's how good MJ was. And so I think I've been wanting to say this. I say it, but it's not received well. If Kobe was that good, if LeBron is this good, if Kareem was that good, if Tim Duncan was that good, imagine how, like what I just said about Larry Bird. Like, Larry Bird is white. He was this good, that I'm saying that he's this good. That's how good he was. That's how good Michael Jordan is, or was. That it's not even close. Like, I don't think we understand when we see what MJ was doing. He was the most competitive player out there. Like, he had a heat culture before the heat culture. Like, he was ready to, his flaws that we saw was that everything turned into a competition. What's our guy's name?
He said MJ's only flaws was that everything was a competition. He didn't have no flaws in his individual basketball game. I like that he said that, and I like that he kept saying, man, these guys didn't have no flaws, and he talked about, man, like Kobe, but then he threw LeBron name in when they was talking about the Hall of Fame, because he was like, nah, guys like LeBron and Kobe, as far as Hall of Fame, I don't even want to be a part of that, because these guys are supposed to be so separated from us, which is true. Kobe, LeBron, Mike, Bird, Magic, these guys in the league of their own. But he said, if you put those guys in the league, he was trying to explain, if you put those guys in the league of their own, you got to understand how good Mike is, because Mike is even above that. So you would have a tier. He said that should be tiers in the Hall of Fame. He said, it'd be tiers of people like LeBron, Kobe, Magic, Bird. But he said after all those tiers you talk about, the one at the top, all alone by himself, would be Mike. And he said, you don't realize what, like, people take Mike for granted and think Mike was just another great player. No, Mike is, when people study him, like, Mike was everything, bro. Like, there's no way you can compare nobody else to him, especially not LeBron with all his flaws. There's no way you can compare. And that's what people that really study and look at and analyze people's game come away with. That can do it without feelings and emotion, and do it without bias and alliance. So many people got alliance with LeBron, who got, I guess a good reason to be on his side and to push him. And I don't understand what JJ Redick's angle is, or what Give It a Ring's angle is, but they pushing LeBron real hard. And I'm like, man, for y'all to be astute students of the game, I don't understand how you can pick a guy. I understand he's so physically gifted, like Shaq was, but like Wilt was. But what else did he master? Is there more things that he has to master before he retire? If you couldn't retire as a player until you master everything, LeBron will never retire. That's why it was so easy for MJ to walk away. Man, he was like, man, I done everything I felt like I needed to achieve in basketball. I think I done it, and he done that by his third championship. When he retired because his dad passed, he was like, I ain't got nothing else to prove. He said, I ain't got nothing else to prove. He wasn't trying to go get Kareem's record. He didn't say, man, let me keep playing because if I keep averaging this and if I play this long, I get Kareem's record. No, he wasn't insecure like that. He knew I don't have to go get Kareem's record. Everybody can look and see I'm the best player that they ever seen play. I don't have to go get that record. LeBron has to go get that record. The last thing I play for you is Dwayne Wade, and this is his brother from another mother. This is somebody he won a championship with, played with for 4 straight years, and the 5th year in Cleveland. Right. So they cool. This is him being honest about why they even formed the Big Three.
I remember cutting my TV off as soon as when Kobe ran and grabbed that ball. I was like, LeBron.
All right, bro. Especially losing against them.
I'm not lying to you. I cut the TV off when I watched that shit. And I watched Kobe run and grab the ball and celebrate. I was like, so what you gonna do? That was our summer free agency. Yeah, they were dominating. Like Kobe was winning all these rings. I was like, wait, hold on. Now you got 5 and we got 1? Like, no. So yeah, that was
it's great how
it changed the league.
How he created.
I know that.
Yeah, no, thank you.
So the mentality is different. The mindset is different. I already talked about this about 10 minutes ago. I alluded to it. The mentality is different. Michael Jordan came in. He had his team. He drafted his rookies, Pippen, Horace Grant. Got his rookie coach in Phil Jackson, and they trying to make something work. And they can't get past Detroit. And Michael Jordan's response to not being able to get past Detroit was to get in the weight room and work as hard as possible. Then they couldn't get past Detroit again, and his response to that was, let me get my teammates in the weight room with me. And my co-star, Scottie Pippen, I'm going to give him my personal trainer to work with on my dime. He said, hey, man, go work out with Scottie Pippen. I want him as strong as me and ready as me. That's my co-star. So he got his whole team in the gym working on their body and, of course, working on their game. You can look up and hear people talk about, even Reggie Miller talk about the pickups they played in during the summer and stuff like that. And Michael Jordan and Pippen was always on the same team. So, I mean, he was doing things that was trying to get his teams better, his teammates better, and especially his co-star. So you can credit some of their development to their leader, which was Michael Jordan. That was his response to getting beat by a team. I'm gonna build my team up. I want my own teams. Magic got his in LA. Isaiah Thomas got his in Detroit. Bird got his in Boston. They're building their own team. Bartley got his over there in Philly. And I want to build mine, and I want mine to be the king of the hill, and I want to dethrone y'all. That was the mindset. And then he did it. He finally got past Detroit, and when he did it, I think they swept him, and that was a wrap after that. Bad Boy Pistons was done. It was Jordan's league now, right? That was the mindset. The way LeBron and D-Wade, the way Dwayne just described that, is they looked and seen Kobe win a championship and was like, man, this dude got 5 rings now. LeBron got 0, Wade got 1. They all are supposed to be on the same level with Kobe, right? Media was telling us LeBron was actually better than Kobe. So if LeBron is better than Kobe, D-Wade is on the same level as Kobe, why would they both join up and then go get Bosh to add to it, and then go get Ray Allen to add to it, just so they can start getting rings like him? He's got 5, they got 1 between them. Instead of saying, man, I'm going back to the lab, I'm about to build my team up like MJ did with his Scottie Pippen. I'm gonna do that. Instead of doing that, they teamed up and said, we got to get past Kobe, because if we don't start winning rings and getting these rings, we never go get talked about like Kobe. That's the mentality. That's the difference. And that's what Iguodala is explaining. When you start talking about this GOAT stuff, man, you can't tell me nothing about no guy that got flaws in this game. You can't shoot a free throw. Come on, man. How are you the greatest? There's no way. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Are you feeling what Iguodala was saying? A player as great as LeBron, can he be considered the greatest basketball player we ever seen play if he got flaws in his game, but there's two other players with no flaws in their game? Is it possible for a person with flaws in their game to be better or greater than two players with no flaws in their game, especially when those two players happen to win more rings than this guy? Make that make sense. Do your best. Come in the comment section and tell me, how is a guy with flaws and plenty of them better than a guy with no flaws and plenty rings? I'll catch y'all on the next episode.